welcome to CONNECTpreneur. We're glad that you could all make it. CONNECTpreneur is a global community of over 30,000 investors, CEOs, entrepreneurs, business leaders, and professional service providers from all around the world. I am Skylar Allison, and I am the community manager. 2025 marks our 14th year, and during this time, we have hosted over 100 in-person and virtual CONNECTpreneur forums with over 1,500 presentations from over 900 presenting company alumni, and about 60% of our presenters have received funding from investors that they have met on our platform. We've built an investor community of over 4,000 accredited private investors, angels, and family offices who have now attended our events and who are interested in investing in awesome deals that they meet through our platform. Hopefully, you've already downloaded the program book for today's event, which has info on our sponsors and the executive summaries of our 9 awesome presenting companies today, as well as the list of RSVPs. If you haven't downloaded it yet, no worries. Our team will post a link to the program book now in the chat box so you can take a look. A couple things about today's event. Like I mentioned, we have 9 awesome presenting companies. After our final presenter, we will open up breakout rooms, which will be about 30 minutes or so. Each one will be hosted by a presenting company. You'll be able to enter and leave whichever breakout room you'd like. Just as a reminder, these breakout rooms are for our presenting companies and to talk with investors, direct investors, I might add. So please note, this is not a time to sell services to the presenting companies. And we ask that you only enter and leave these breakout rooms if you are a direct investor looking to know more about the presenting company. Another note is to please be respectful when using the group chat. Feel free to post your LinkedIn and contact info or a brief introduction a couple of times. Just please make sure to not overload the chat. We would really appreciate it. We recommend that you download the chat before and after breakout rooms. That way you can read through it. We'll download it, but we won't have all your private messages or if there's anything else. So just make sure that you download it yourself. We will be polling our direct investors on the call today after each presenter. As I mentioned, these polls are for direct investors only. They're confidential, so we won't be sharing any of the poll results, but please, as I mentioned, only answer these polls if you are indeed a direct investor only. Our marketing coordinator, Emily Fanouche, is going to put some links in the chat. These are for our YouTube channel, which has hundreds of videos of our past presenters. She also is going to post links for our upcoming in-person and virtual events, which are in September. And as I mentioned before, you'll also see that link for the program book. Lastly, if you are interested in sponsoring or presenting, please send me an email and let me know. I will put my email in the chat shortly. Okay, so now I'm going to put up our first poll, which is a poll for our sponsors. This poll is for anyone on the call. So these, as I mentioned, are for our awesome sponsors who make our event possible. So please respond if you have interest in any of their services, and we'll make sure to get you connected with them. Our sponsors can be found in the back of our program book, and while you fill out the poll, I'll name them all. We have Next, powered by Schulman Rogers, Modus Create, Schulman Rogers, Northern Virginia Chamber of Commerce, Maryland Tech Council Venture Mentoring Services, Refraction, Startup Grind, Entrepreneurs Organization, Frederick Innovation Technology Center, KRSC Forum, Dingman Center Angels, Citrine Angels, MIT Alumni Angels, New Jersey Angels, Georgetown Entrepreneurship Initiative, Wharton DC Innovation Summit, Founder Institute, Ryan and Wetmore, Enterprise Transformation Solutions, and Monty Jade Science and Technology Association. So we will leave this poll open for everyone for just a couple minutes. And with that, I would love to get started. So to introduce our presenters, I would like to introduce longtime CONNECTpreneur partner, Sarah Clasper, who's an associate with Next, powered by Schulman Rogers, which is disrupting the way startup law is being performed with packaged offerings on a fixed price basis. So welcome, Sarah.
Thank you, Skylar. Thank you, Avery, Tien, and Emily, and everyone else in the CONNECTpreneur team for today's great event. We are very honored to be a longtime sponsor and supporter of CONNECTpreneur, a leading global event connecting entrepreneurs, investors, and all other members of the startup ecosystem. A quick word on Next. Next is an innovative new model for the delivery of legal services. We have designed our services to be from launch through each stage of growth and from an entrepreneur's perspective, which means we offer predictable and reasonable legal fees by productizing them into fixed price packages. Even though they're in packages, our clients work with seasoned attorneys on every practice area or on every matter that they may need assistance. So the first company today that I have the honor of introducing is ARC Medical. ARC Medical is a clinical stage medical device company that is focused on developing innovative liquid barrier therapies to prevent internal adhesions from surgery. Dr. Chris Springate, CEO, will be here today to present, and he brings over 25 years of experience leading the development and commercialization of medical devices, and he is well positioned to bring ARC Medical to the next level. Please welcome Mr. Springate. Dr. Springate, are you here?
I'm here. Sarah, thanks
Okay.
very much for that kind introduction. Really appreciate it. Good morning, everybody. I'm Chris Springate, the CEO of ARC Medical. Prior to ARC Medical, I was the member of a team that designed and developed a stent medical device, which through our partnership with Boston Scientific had revenues of more than $2 billion in our first year of sales. And now at ARC, we are building another unicorn through helping improve the recovery of surgical patients by preventing their internal surgical adhesions. And so what is the most common surgical complication today? It is indeed these internal surgical adhesions. These form during the first 5 days after surgery. And these are fibrous growths that form inside the body between internal tissues, and these surgical adhesions are internal scars. If not prevented, these become permanent and are unwanted abnormal growths that form in many common surgical procedures. ARCs, IP coat and Joe coat liquid medical devices, and these are liquid adhesion barriers, are in clinical development for the prevention of gynecological and abdominal surgical adhesions and knee and shoulder surgical adhesions. As liquids, they are easily applied into the surgical site at the end of surgery. It takes less than 2 minutes. I'm going to show you a video of our Joe coat being used at the end of a shoulder reoperation. So this is the end of a shoulder reoperation, and this is our Joe coat liquid medical devices. So it's 10 mils. The metal that you see here is the arthroscope that was used to perform the surgery inside the joint. They finished the surgery, the arthroscope is still in the joint. Standard connection, super fast and easy for this surgeon's assistant to apply our Joe coat liquid medical device directly into the joint. Adds almost no additional operating room time or flow. The way our products work is, and then as a reminder, adhesions form during that first 5 days after the surgery. Our liquid medical devices flow throughout the entire surgical area. They provide a temporary physical barrier that prevents the formation of adhesions everywhere and result in healthy healing inside the body. Surgical adhesions are large unmet medical need and markets, over 11 million patients and over $11 billion annually. We've proven out the safety and the efficacy of our medical devices through treating 17 knee and shoulder reoperation patients with Joe coat, and through a phase 1 safety clinical trial, safely treating over 76 healthy volunteers in an abdominal pelvic application. Our strong intellectual property includes 7 separate patent families that provide exclusivity for IP coat and Joe coat through 2039 and beyond. In the US, under patent term extension, we expect the last patent to expire in 2041. We're now initiating clinical trials for Joe coat in orthopedic patients, IP coat in gynecological patients, that we expect to result in approvals in less than 2 years with sales in select territories, including Middle East and Europe. We're also in the midst of completing a Japanese partnership. We welcome you and encourage you to meet us in the breakout room to learn more about ARC, including our team, our sales, and our exit.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome, Sarah. Thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
Next this morning, we have Octus Surgical. Octus Surgical is pioneering a minimally invasive growth modulating solution for pediatric scoliosis that can be adjusted externally, which offers a flexible alternative to traditional spinal fusion. Here to speak with you about it today is John Ashley, a seasoned serial entrepreneur with over 30 years of experience in the medical device industry, having led numerous startups to hugely successful exits and IPOs. Please welcome John Ashley, CEO.
Thank you, Sarah. Good morning, everyone. I'm John Ashley, and at Octus Surgical, we are solving the problem of scoliosis. I'd like you to meet Maya. She is the friend of a close MIT colleague of mine. She was prescribed with scoliosis when she was 10 and a half years old, along with 250,000 other children in the US that year and every year. This is a condition that affects 2 to 3% of all children on the planet. It's a sideways curvature of the spine, and it's a progressive disease. When it gets severe enough, these children are prescribed external torso braces to support their spine while they grow. Maya had to wear this 23 plus hours a day when she turned 11, but it didn't work for her, and it doesn't work for a number of these children, and 30,000 every year go through fusion surgery. Maya had to get cut open from her neck down to her hips, her skin and muscles flayed back. 2 solid titanium rods and dozens of screws were implanted in her back. Yes, her spine was straightened, but her ballet, skiing, soccer all ended, and she faces a lifetime complication rate. We're changing that with our minimally invasive device. It goes through 1 centimeter incisions and gets attached to the side of the spine. We have a long, flexible tether connecting the screws to the spine, and one end of the tether is spooled on this adjuster, which gets implanted along with the tether. And when these children come back for regular checkups in the doctor's office, the doctor can use an external magnetic controller to change the length and tension of that tether, creating a personalized solution for every child. Not only is this a great solution for these children, it's a fantastic market opportunity. Our beachhead market are these adolescent idiopathic scoliosis children, creating over almost $1 billion opportunity in the US alone. And there are many other problems in spine where this platform is applicable. If you compare our device to the various fusion rods from about 7 companies on the market and the 2 static tethers, we are less invasive and motion preserving, meaning the spine continues to move, but we're also much higher strength and 10 times the durability of the static devices on the market. We can adjust our product without additional surgeries, so it can grow with the child and expand the patient pool. We have patents issued in the US, Asia, and in Europe. We've got 3-month preclinical data validating the functionality of our product, FDA breakthrough device designation. We have multiple practicing spine surgeons who have invested in the company and non-dilutive awards. Myself and co-founders have more than 90 years of experience in the medical device space. That includes 8 startup exits, 2 of those IPOs. All told, that's generated more than $1.7 billion in investor returns. Myself, my chief science officer, and VP of R&D all worked together previously at another spine startup, Coalign. We developed the world's first FDA-approved vertically expandable interbody fusion cage for low back surgery. And after 2 rounds of funding, sold that to Stryker at a 16x multiple. This is an exciting market because the ASPs for our product are north of $30,000 per implant, and it's very focused. All of these complex surgeries occur in children's hospitals and large academic centers. That combination creates a very fast sales ramp and profitability within 3 years post-launch. We're currently raising a $3 million seed round. It'll fund operations into 2027 and allow us to get an investigational device exemption approved to do our pivotal trial. Thank you so much. I look forward to your questions in the breakout room.
Thank you, John. Next this morning, we have iLumen Scientific. iLumen Scientific is a biomedical technology company focused on developing non-invasive microcurrent stimulation therapy to treat or potentially reverse vision loss. John Villeur brings a track record of leadership in neurostimulation firms, and he is now spearheading iLumen's efforts to bring this cutting-edge, non-invasive vision restoring technology to market. Please welcome John Villeur, CEO and President.
Thank you. iLumen's mission is improving vision using ocular stimulation therapy or non-invasive microcurrent stimulation to improve vision in those with central field vision loss. AMD is the leading cause of blindness in those over the age of 50. 1 in 4 people will have vision loss by age 60. The market is huge. More than 200 million people globally have this disease, and 20 million in the US alone. Last year, sales for both wet and dry therapeutics was 16 billion. In 2029, it's estimated that dry AMD will be nearly $69 billion. And that's the market that iLumen operates in. Now, most of the therapeutics out there are focused on slowing the loss of vision, not improving vision as iLumen. Our office-based therapeutic uses non-invasive electrodes that are applied to the surface of the eye and the back of the neck. And we deliver low-level bioelectric pulses. Our treatment regimen includes a loading regimen of 5 consecutive days. And then on a monthly, every other month basis, patients receive a maintenance treatment. Now, when we talk about the improvement in visual acuity, we're looking for at least a 10-letter improvement in visual acuity. That's assuming that prior to the treatment, patients can only read down through the line highlighted in purple, and then after treatment, they can read through the line highlighted in blue. We conducted a US feasibility study and limited the number of treatments to just 7 treatment days, but we were able to demonstrate both safety and effectiveness. Let's talk about that effectiveness. We improved mitochondrial cell volume and function by 38%. That's the energy source used by the photoreceptor cells to be able to function properly. We also improved photoreceptor response time by 3 milliseconds, which is significant, and that's the speed at which photoreceptor cells can process light. In addition, we improved photoreceptor cell response density by 14%, again, significantly. And this demonstrates the strength of the signal that's being sent to the brain. Overall, what we were able to demonstrate in our treatment group is that there was a mean improvement of 9.6 letters across all of those participants. But more importantly, 54% of those in the treatment group had a 10+ letter gain in vision and maintained that out through month 12. Now we've entered into our pivotal study, and we will have data from that available in Q4 of 2027 for submission to the FDA. Our path is pretty clear to market clearance, and there are 2 opportunities or inflection points where we think there's a chance to sell the business to a strategic within ophthalmology. We have already initiated conversations with the targets listed here, and it includes both device and pharma, and they are interested in this anchoring their retina business. I think it's important to talk about the most recent acquisition, which was completed by Alcon, acquiring Lumathera, which is also an energy-based therapeutic technology, and that was sold for $850 million. Unfortunately, Lumathera's output is inferior to iLumen's. They only demonstrated a 6.2 letter improvement after 54 treatments or 21 months. iLumen's Series B has already had term sheets for more than 50% of the $35 million that we are looking to raise. And we have a program to include all investors, those large and small. iLumen is really about an opportunity to change what's happening in ophthalmology with the potential of an exit within 30 to 32 months and a potential return of 12 to 14x at just an $850 million transaction value. Please join us in our breakout room, and we look forward to share more information about iLumen, our technology, and the opportunity to provide you with a great return. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Next this morning, we will hear from OnGo Energy. OnGo is creating energy sprays with 3 times faster absorption and requires no refrigeration or preparation. As founder and CEO of OnGo, Ashu Jain has proven his work ethic, accountability, and leadership skills in business and beyond. Please welcome Ashu Jain, CEO of OnGo Energy.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Sarah. I'm super excited to present today. And rather than starting with the typical problem solution, I'd like to start with a paradox. It is said that we live in the most over-caffeinated, yet still exhausted generation in human history. $17 billion is spent in the US alone, and the problem isn't caffeine. It's the added ingredients and the slow delivery. You can charge your car on the go, you can charge your phone on the go, but to charge a human being, you need stop to purchase, prepare, drink large volumes of liquids, carbonation, bloating, and the eventual bathroom break, leading to loss of productivity. Again, my name is Ashu Jain. I am a Hall of Fame athlete. I spent 15 years governing Olympians and making policy. So today I'm going to show you the biggest breakthrough in energy supplements since the 5-Hour Energy brand. And this right here, that right there was an entire Red Bull. With its faster absorption and on-demand use, we're able to take that 40-minute cycle and reduce it to under 5 minutes. Within a few minutes, I'm going to get the full effects. And this little bottle replaces 15 stops to purchase. Yet it's sugar-free, gluten-free, and made with natural caffeine. Just like Apple made the iPad. We went from energy drinks to energy shots, and today we are creating the tablet of the energy supplement, OnGo. Never has anything been smaller, cleaner, faster, or as compact or convenient in history. And we are protected by utility patent with additional patent on formula pending. It's more than just a product and sales, it is a safer alternative. We are well within all FDA guidelines and use only clean ingredients and made in the United States. The market size is enormous. Of that 17 billion, about 7 billion is spent on functional energy, and it's primarily divided into these 6 segments, and they are eager for something new. The growth is in natural and sugar-free ingredients. However, the products that are made with a purpose, they are making a breakthrough. And just like the launch of any new format and delivery, it requires awareness. We're building out an army of micro as well as macro influencers, converting them into affiliates. Lots of TikTok and social media ads out there. And so far, we just started these initiatives earlier this year. We're selling about $1,000 a month. However, we have 3 huge elements in the pipeline, starting with we're hopefully signing a deal next week to present on or to be a guest on a reality TV show that's to stream on Roku and potentially on Amazon Prime. Immense visibility and product sales from there. Earlier this week, we just signed a sales and distribution agreement with a team. We're going to be approximately 250 stores within the next 90 days. We have the inventory and the product. And within the 12 months, we're going to be in about anywhere from 12 to 1,500 stores. And all of this is going to lead up to a huge JV opportunity with a Fortune 500 company come February that we have to prepare for. We have a small and focused team with over 30 years specifically in CPG brands. And we have a co-packer that can help us scale and bring the supply chain on the back end. 5 years from today, we expect to do about $130 million in revenue, but that potentially could go significantly higher if we do a few things right. If we can get greater adoption, this number can be much higher. Again, 5-Hour Energy brand alone is doing $2 billion in revenue. And today we're seeking $1.1 million. We have raised $150,000 to date. The remaining funds we're raising in the form of a safe note with a 20% discount and a $5 million post-money valuation. Majority of the money will go into influencer marketing, some key staff development, and primarily into inventory and other product development. The key element here is we're looking for a fast close prior to the filming of the television show. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to answering your questions in the breakout room.
Thank you so much. And next today we have Peptinovo. PeptiNovo is developing a novel mechanism of action that uses synthetic HDL, the good cholesterol, to deliver chemotherapy drugs directly into cancer cells. By mimicking the body's natural HDL uptake, our platform acts like a Trojan horse, replacing cholesterol with a proven approved chemo agent and selectively targeting tumor cells while sparing healthy tissue. This method allows the chemo to reach its full potential while limiting side effects. Presenting today is Steve Tokars, CEO.
Thanks, Sarah. So cancer, it's the universal human experience. We've all been affected, friends, family, loved ones, maybe yourself. But imagine surviving cancer, beating cancer while living a normal life. And that's exactly what we aim to do at PeptiNovo, because chemotherapy is a powerful tool that works. It kills cancer, but it suffers from serious side effects, some of which, like peripheral neuropathy, nerve damage, can last the life of the patient. But what we've come up with is this universal platform based on a synthetic HDL. And now we can embed proven, approved chemotherapeutics. And we then trick the cancer because we exploit a mechanism that cancer cells use for growth. And today, everyone's heard of HDL, the good cholesterol, and inside that is a derivative of cholesterol. And in every cancer cell studied, there's active transporter regulators that seek out the HDL, bring in that cholesterol derivative, and then where it's clipped by enzymes in the cell, freeing the form of cholesterol, fueling cancer cells' growth. But we trick it. We come up with this new PALM technology, this synthetic HDL, and we insert a prodrug, a derivative where we put a chemo linker that temporarily deactivates the drug, and it's extremely stable when it circulates the blood. And just like the cholesterol, these active transporter regulators now seek the HDL, they seek the PALM. But instead of cancer growth, now the prodrug is inserted inside the cancer cell where enzymes cleave it. Like pulling the pin from a grenade, the active form of the chemo is released, causing cell destruction. We've already had proof of concept. We can increase efficacy. We can improve patient survival, all with quality of life. And the market size is huge, 124 billion. We could go across different cell lines, ovarian, breast, different drug classes, across the entire world market. And people say, well, what are the competitive sets? Well, antibody drug conjugates are the lead now, but we could put more drug in, we could be more active at a lower cost, and virtually no side effects, unlike the drugs that are used today. People compare us to liposomal proteins. We're not a liposomal particle. They take chemo drug, they shroud it, it's not targeted, it's not stable, and it's extremely large. This is a novel targeted drug delivery. You could call it a PALM drug conjugate from PeptiNovo. And when you look at the traction, manufacturing's on pace. Kilogram quantities are being shipped in September. We're poised to start the first patient dosed in November. Animal testing's complete. It shows virtually no signs of any side effects. The critical path now is to keep the funding going. The patient is waiting. We have a phenomenal team, 10 startups, 6 ongoing. Ren Fahoman, this is his 3rd startup. He started as cardiovascular. Wayne Close, who I highlight there, led oncology for Astellas, and before that at Takeda. It's a streamlined regulatory pathway. With the funding we have now, we could accelerate into patients, finish the first patient studies in 26, and we could be positioned in 27, 28 for our first deals and our first pharma licensing. And the exit opportunities are enormous. So with one drug and one scenario, we could be looking at $600 million to $1.3 billion in exit just for our first leading indication with one potential drug. We are raising the Series A. It's a 19 million pre. We've already closed 8.5. We're willing to go to no less than 14 and as much as 23 million. That'll fund the clinical trials, the manufacturing, keep the testing and operations moving forward. So we welcome you to join us in our break room, and you can hopefully join our PeptiNovo journey. Again, the patient is waiting.
Today we have Reengage Therapeutics. Reengage Therapeutics is a biopharmaceutical R&D company focused on developing drugs for longevity-related diseases, such as cancer and neurodegeneration, by modifying epigenetic targets implicated in these aging-related disorders. Thomas Kim has over 23 years of experience in biotechnology and corporate law, and he has held senior roles at major biotech and chemical materials companies. He also is a registered patent attorney. Please welcome Thomas Kim, President and CEO of Reengage Therapeutics.
Thanks, Sarah. Appreciate that. And thank you all for listening to this amazing story about Reengage and our much needed therapies for late stage metastatic colorectal cancer. So this is not to be understated. I mean, this is a major problem worldwide, a top 5 cancer, which is expected to grow tremendously by 2040. And more problematic is dipping down into younger generation, those in their 30s and 40s. And to heighten the problem here, standard of care when you have recurrence and not amenable to targeted therapies, it's very limited in terms of optionality. So our effective treatment is urgently needed. And our solution is to resensitize these refractory tumors. So you can see in these two columns, these images, it's showing signatures of heightened DNA damage when you downregulate or you knock out our target enzyme, ACSS2. So if you knock it out and you hit it with chemo, you start seeing these signatures of DNA damage and ultimately cell tumor killing. And on the right, you're seeing histograms where we're looking for this purple gamma H2AX, which really shows the increase in DNA damage and cell death when you knock out the enzyme with chemo or you hit it with our small molecule with chemo. And this is the gold standard translative model for solid tumors. It's a patient-derived xenograft, and this is done at MD Anderson with our PI, Dr. Scott Kopes. You can see in these two trials with even low ACSS2 or high ACSS2 in the patient tumors, late stage aggressive metastatic colorectal cancer. You can see on the bar on the right, the purple is chemo alone, and then the purple or the blue is the combination. So you can see in both cases, you're seeing 50% enhanced median survival over chemo alone. This is a significant beachhead that we're going after, third line, nearly 1 million worldwide and approximately 200,000 in the US alone. For this first-in-class drug, there is no comparable, but if we look at phase 1-2 cancer deals, we're looking upwards of 300 million as a base return. And this shows you a rapid timeline. The small molecule NT9655 has already proven safe, been in a phase 1 trial as a monotherapy. And with this newfound mechanism of action, we believe we can be in a phase 2 trial by 2028 and hit this massive value inflection. We have an experienced operational team. Everybody has over 20 years of experience, raised over 35 million in private funding, had some successful exits, including a merger with a public company, and multiple clinical programs have been engaged and managed by this group. So right now we're looking to transform CRC, but we are excited about expansion into other refractory solid tumors and the potential of moving into second line therapy. We've raised 430,000 to date. We're tackling a large unmet need. We have a outstanding partner in MD Anderson, both preclinical and clinical. And we believe we can accelerate a de-risk asset into this combination therapy in a phase 1b/2a study. GMP manufacturing is already established, and we're looking for partners. Happy to talk to you more about this opportunity in our breakout rooms. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Next today, we'll hear from Kelly from Surgibox. Surgibox is developing ultra-portable, inflatable, sterile enclosures, notably the SurgiField system, which is designed to create safe, clean surgical environments to patients anytime, anywhere. especially for those that are in low resource, disaster-stricken, or conflict environments that lack conventional operating rooms. Kelly Laurel holds an MBA and is a retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel, bringing extensive leadership experience to her role. At SurgiBox, she has been instrumental in expanding the company's global footprint to enhance access to safe surgical solutions throughout the world. Please welcome Kelly Laurel.
Thanks, Sarah. As mentioned, Kelly Laurel from SurgiBox, the award-winning innovation that provides clean, safe surgery anytime, any place. Access to surgery is a global problem. Billions of people across the globe do not have access to proper surgical infrastructure, which results in millions of deaths annually. Additionally, in many places where there is insufficient infrastructure to meet their demand, and I'm not just talking about places where you don't want to travel to, I'm talking about developed nations to include Europe that have significant surgical backlog times. Currently, over 600,000 people in England alone are waiting for surgery. And in other instances where you do have infrastructure, if a disaster demolishes your infrastructure, it may take several days before other solutions can arrive on site to support your medical needs. Case in point, in March, Thailand suffered a devastating earthquake that ruined their infrastructure, that resulted in the staff having to do surgeries out in a parking lot, open to the elements. You can see some people wearing masks, others not. You got a guy in the back with a sippy cup, and if you look closely, it looks like they're doing another surgery right behind him. So what's the solution? SurgiField. It is a rapidly deployed, cost-effective, ultra-portable surgical environment. It transforms any space that you have into a surgical space. It protects both the patient from the environment and the provider from bloodborne pathogens or blood splashes. We have now received, just this month, our EU MDR CE mark, so we are now available to sell in Europe and many other countries. We also have approval in Japan and are ISO certified. Here's in stark contrast just across the border in Thailand in April, where we provided our kits to where there's civil unrest in Myanmar. They are safely performing surgery in a makeshift basement surgical room to remove shrapnel from a patient. Or in the Ukraine, our system is being used to save lives and provide proper surgical conditions in the most aggressive environments. Here's a snapshot of our system. It starts with the smart control module, which is the shoebox looking item that provides positive pressure, HEPA filtered air that inflates the surgical bubble in under 90 seconds. It adheres to the patient with an adhesive on the bottom and has a tearaway panel in the middle. 2 to 3 providers can be in the bubble at any moment. There are 6 arm ports on top. There's a limb port on the side so that you can do additional procedures on hand, foot, leg, and the such. Weighs under 10 pounds, fits in a backpack, highly portable, and it comes with rechargeable batteries that each last at least 4 minutes. We see this as a huge opportunity. The lack of infrastructure is multi-billion dollars. We see this across 3 broad segments: the non-emergency surgical section, rural and remote medicine, or emergency preparedness, crisis, and defense. We have a very tailored and specific go-to-market strategy for each of these segments. We believe there will be high demand. We know many countries are putting forth resources to address this growing surgical backlog, and we can provide them with a simple solution that immediately addresses their surgical backlog, drives their revenue, without the need for them to put forth expensive capital expenditures to build additional theaters. We know many militaries and governments are looking for solutions to reduce casualties and improve patient outcomes. We have a razor blade business model using the smart control module, which is good for approximately 2 years or 10,000 surgical hours, and the single-use disposable bubble. Here we have super conservative estimates that show at least 46 million in revenue over the next 4 years. Here's some additional details about our journey. We've raised about $8 million thus far. Half of it has come from institutionals and VCs like Wellcome Trust, and the other half has come from grants. We have several pilots going on in other countries. We have 14 countries with distributorships already signed up and a couple others pending. We have a very robust IP portfolio, and we have currently a new product under development funded by the U.S. Department of Defense. We have a small but mighty little surgical team here with doctors, surgeons, medical tech advisors, biomed engineers, military trauma surgeons that have been advised us in leading this company. Okay. We are in the midst of transitioning from an R&D company to a commercialization one focused on sales. We're seeking a $2 million safe note. Just as mentioned, we just received our regulatory approval this month. So we're scaling up manufacturing, filling our warehouse, need to hire some key personnel. I would love to talk to you more about in the breakout room about our life-saving and game-changing technology. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kelly. Next today we have Swiftsure. Swiftsure Innovations is enhancing oral care for ventilated patients. Their flagship product, the Swish Kit, is a single-use device that is designed to safely rinse and suction the oral cavity of intubated patients, which is helping to address the challenges of performing oral care in critical care settings. Deanne drew on her experience as a critical care nurse to identify these significant gaps in oral hygiene tools for ICU patients. Notably, she holds a Bachelor of Nursing and a Bachelor of Business Administration from Memorial University of Newfoundland, where she was class valedictorian. Please welcome Deanne McCarthy, founder and CEO of Swiftsure.
Thank you for having me. We all clean our mouths multiple times a day. We brush, rinse, spit. Our mouths also have an excellent innate ability to self-clean. But if you become critically ill and require life support, all of that changes. Your mouth loses this ability to self-clean, and the oral care that you can receive has massive limitations. As a critical care nurse, I was bothered. We focus so much on hand hygiene and cleaning our stethoscopes between patient care, which is obviously very important. But what doesn't make sense is that you look into the mouth of a critically ill patient, their upper airway, and it is often the most visibly soiled, disgusting thing that you can see in the entire patient care environment. So why does this matter? Oral bacteria is the main cause of pneumonia, which is the most common, fatal, and expensive hospital-acquired infection in ICU. Each case costs over $100,000, and in aggregate, it costs U.S. healthcare providers $30 billion annually. Hospitals prioritize oral hygiene because it is associated with reduction in hospital stays, febrile days, antibiotic consumption, and mortality. However, oral hygiene for dependent patients that are tube fed or patients that are in life support, basically patients at risk for aspiration, are broken at a single point of failure. We're unable to rinse. And without the ability to rinse, we can't remove anything. We're limited to brushing, suctioning, and wiping the oral cavity, which does little than disperse organic debris in the oral cavity. So we've developed the Swish Kit, which is the first device to ever easily rinse the mouth of these dependent patients, improving established infection prevention practices for hospitals, and it can easily fit into any oral care protocol. We have strong reports of increased patient satisfaction that the rinsing intervention improves oral comfort, and for nurses, we are giving them the adequate tools to efficiently do their jobs. So the Swish Kit leverages the anatomy of the oral cavity, gravity, and differential flow rate, so we can simultaneously rinse and suction with no dwell time for the fluid. And on the bottom right corner, you can see what we removed from the oral cavity of a patient that was on life support for 4 days and receiving routine oral care. This is a stark visual indicator of what current oral care practices are leaving behind in this vulnerable patient population. This is a large addressable market in the US, $1.95 billion for adult hospitalized patients. There are many multinational companies that provide these commoditized oral care products that allow us to brush, wipe, and suction the oral cavity. And the Swish Kit is adjunctive to these practices and fits nicely with these product portfolios and does not cannibalize any of these existing revenue streams. The Swish Kit's been validated at a top hospital in the US, the Cleveland Clinic main campus in Ohio, with a 96% clinical acceptance rate from the end users. Our product is FDA registered and on the market and pending sale at UT Southwest in Dallas following a very successful product evaluation and another product evaluation pending at Veterans Affairs. We have strong patent protection and have Foley & Lardner as our IP corporate counsel. And we also have expansion of indication in the future, including pediatric and home care use. We have a deep, experienced team with over 68 combined years of experience in developing and commercializing medical devices. We're on track to achieve our forecasted 0.6 million in revenue this year and to grow beyond 7.7 in revenue in 2027. Following our early commercial launch and clinical success, we framed up a seed extension to exponentially expand our commercial deployment and structural corporate growth. With a 96% clinical acceptance rate, a growing pipeline, and early discussions with strategic and distribution partners in the US, we are primed to be standard of care for success as our team continues to execute in a time-efficient and capital-efficient manner. Looking forward to discussing the terms of our current open note in our breakout room shortly.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Deanne. We have our final investor pull up for Swiftsure. So if you want to make sure to fill that out. Pretty soon we're going to be opening up the breakout rooms in just a minute or two. As a reminder, these breakout rooms are for each presenting company will have their own breakout room, and they are for investors to go in and talk to the presenters, and it's a deep dive session for them. There is no selling of services, and please only go in and out of these breakout rooms if you are a direct investor looking to get to know the company better. So with that, I'm going to put up our final poll, which is for our sponsors. If you have already answered this at the beginning of the call, no need to do so again. This is just in case you missed the very beginning of our call. If you're interested in any of the services from our sponsors, please feel free to indicate that here. And while that final poll is up, I'm going to go ahead and open up breakout rooms. These breakout rooms will last for about 30 minutes or so. As a reminder, just to save the chat before you go into your breakout room and save it after your breakout room is done. You'll see about a 60-second reminder from me before these breakout rooms are closing. So you can go into the breakout rooms now. You should see a breakout room button on the bottom of your toolbar where you have mute, stop video, all that stuff. You'll see another button that says breakout rooms. You can click on that and click which room you would like to join. And with that, I want to thank everyone for joining us today, and we will hopefully see you at our next virtual and in-person event in September. And thank you for joining us.